Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes episode 169. Episode 169 of Tuck Rule Takes. Anyone want to say it? Did you just spill all over yourself?
Yeah, that wasn't great.
Let me pause the intro, because if you're watching, Liam, first time drinking water with a brand new root canal, decided to just spill all over himself.
I don't think any of it caught in my mouth.
It didn't. Yeah, no, you look wet. Not
Here, Liam, I'll show you how to properly drink a water.
Riveting. This is riveting stuff, guys. Episode 160.
Why don't you man up and drink a beer?
Of Tuck Rule, or a high noon if you want to be like a cool man. Episode 169 for the fourth time, I guess. I don't know why I keep saying that. Episode 169. Gang's all here. Liam's here for episode 169. Al's here as well. I am Mike, coming to you from, what is today? Monday. So we're recording the start of the week. Not much in the way of Patriots news. This is kind of the dead zone until basically 2.5 weeks from now when free agency opens for the NFL. I think it's like 17 days at this point exactly. So, but we do have, if you listened last week, you heard Al's plan. You heard Liam's plan, which, by the way, I forgot to ask you guys, do you have those plans handy? Or do you guys remember what you said about your plans?
I have one.
Yeah, okay, I remember mine.
Cool. Because I kind of want to, just at the end, we'll just recap them and just get it out there on the waves. So then people, if we hit, we hit. If we don't, which we won't, people will know. But I'm going to give my plan, which I've been hyping this up for like a couple days now. I'm pumped about my offseason plan for the Patriots. I'm pumped. I can't wait. I think I was telling Al before we recorded, I think it's like, you do this, it's Super Bowl, not in a couple of years. Next year, it's a Super Bowl. It's realistic.
How much does this emulate Madden, do you think?
Oh, that's a good question. So what's the scale here?
Like 0 to 100 percentage wise.
0 to 100.
You guys are
100 being like draft day kind of Madden-ish.
Yeah. Like it's completely unrealistic.
Yeah, I would say, knowing Mike, it's got to be completely absurd. Between 0 and 100, I'll fucking hover in an 89 range. I think it should be nuts.
Al, what do you think?
I'm gonna go 98.5%.
You guys are crazy, man. So I will say, kind of just a disclaimer. I didn't do, like, I know you both did years in money. I kind of like, because I don't really know exactly what they'll get, but like I kind of know the gist of it. So some people, it's just like, a couple of years here, a year here, give him a big deal, whatever it happens to be. Patriots have enough money, so I didn't feel like kind of harping on that. But like I said, the list is realistic. Money to burn, which now everybody wants to do. Funny how that changed from last year. But I did want to ask you guys something before I get into that. Did you guys see the kickoff news that came across social media today that the NFL might be changing the kickoff
permanently?
They might be changing the touchback to the 35-yard line.
Jesus Christ!
So
you might as well start the ball to 50 now.
Well, that's why I like that, because kickers aren't going to want to kick it through the end zone. So I think it's going to invite more returns. So yeah, I didn't know if you guys saw that or if you had any thoughts on it, because I think the kickoff, like, I mean, as everybody says, I'm not breaking new ground, but I think everybody has seen the kickoff just diminish over the years from the rules. You can't do certain blocking. Then they move the kick up. Now they have this weird arena football looking half-ass weird thing that, like, you'd almost have it like recess, be like, all right, you start here. When he catches the ball, we all run. Like, that's stupid.
It's grotesque.
Just quick one sentence thoughts on kickoff probably going to the 35-yard line, because I think the NFL wants exciting plays. But
does this mean they're going to get rid of last year's kickoff?
I think it might stay that way, or like something like that. It might stay very similar, but just the touchback now will be the 35. So like I said, just kind of inviting more returns is from what
I'd like it to go back to the way it was. And if it starts 35 fucking 1 year trial run, so be it. But I can't help but think kickers are still going to kick touchbacks, and now we're just going to get like a offensive explosion because everyone's starting almost at the 50. Literally one run can get you to the 50-yard line.
I got no take on it, because they're trying to fix everything. They're trying to change everything. Just leave some things as is. The kickoff, like, just leave it as is.
Yeah, like, people aren't going to return the ball. Just roll with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I didn't know if you guys saw it, but something I do always like the little rule things that pop up in the off season. So kind of keep track of that, I guess, as we go. If we need stuff to talk about, we'll break down rules. Actually, if we're breaking down rules, we should just take the week off if that's what we're doing.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
But all right, before I get into my list, you guys have anything you want to talk about, chat about, any news you wanted to bring up, anything at all?
Alex
Nope.
Van Pelt.
Yeah.
Alex Van Pelt, what is he? Offensive assistant? Is that what he was over
Yes. Senior
for the
offensive
Rams?
assistant.
Good for him. Yeah, I think we all were like kind of expected he probably should go, is gonna go. But I think we all liked him to an extent, right? I think that's a good spot for him, right?
Yeah, we were all fine with him. There were no qualms about him. I would say in the second half of the season, I think people were like, "Oh, if you bring him back, it's not a bad thing. The continuity with Drake May and everything." But
Yeah,
you
it's
know
just
what?
his inconsistency.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Everyone's going to be inconsistent a little bit,
Yeah.
but even so, with that offense, I mean, it is what it is. But good for Van Pelt. He found work, and he's with Sean McVay. I mean, that's a pretty
Doing
good
really
place to
fucking
end
good
up.
team. Good for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if he'll because I'm sure McVay's gonna move on the next couple of years. Remember they were talking about that after the Super Bowl where he was like
Oh,
he
yeah.
might just dip after that. Yeah,
I don't
I
remember
wonder
any of
if Van Pelt will take on a bigger role when he leaves or something like that. That'll be interesting to watch. Or maybe he'll just get an offensive coordinator job somewhere. Who knows? But yeah, good for him. Alex Van Pelt got a job. Definitely an upgrade for the Patriots, I'd say. I mean, we've seen McDaniels coach, so an upgrade. It's going to be good. I hope both guys have a great season, but I hope McDaniels has a little bit of a better season. So
I think we can all agree with that.
I think so. So all right, are you guys ready?
Dude, I'm
Oh,
so
boy.
psyched. It
All
doesn't help that you've hyped this up to an exorbitant amount,
I have.
but I
Now,
am very excited.
I did, like I said, my disclaimer, I don't have like exact like numbers down there because like we all know like the players we're getting. The Patriots, like I said, have what $161 million to spend last time I checked. So
Mhm.
like you're gonna have to overpay for some people. Some people maybe you can get on the cheap, whatever. We'll talk about the contracts as we go. But I am not gonna give you guys the choice like you both did with me. I'm not gonna give you the choice to pick where we start. We're gonna start where I think the Patriots should start, where I think most teams do start. We're gonna start with re-signing people, right? I didn't do extensions. Just
Why
because
don't we just get right into the facts, get right to the point where we trade for Justin Jefferson and we go out and get
you guys are
every
crazy.
good offensive lineman out there and we're going to steal
We got none.
Saquon from the Eagles.
You know what, Liam? Let's give the guy a chance. Let's
I know,
see
You know
what
what's
he
funny?
actually
I
comes up.
do.
First of
wanna
all,
hear.
you were gonna call me a kid. I'm older than both of you. Second of all,
I was?
You complain when we call you a grandpa, so you can't
That's
have
true.
it both ways. Which one do you
True.
want? Would
Just
you rather
call
be
me
called
Mike.
a kid or would you rather be called geriatric? You can't have it both
just
ways.
call me Mike. Although I've been feeling my knees have been fucking.
Okay,
went
so
to the car.
geriatric, perfect.
I went to the
Geriatric,
car to go to the
Thank
gym
you.
in the
All
morning,
right.
5 o'clock in the morning. Humble
All right,
brag. And I was
geriatric.
like,
What do
whoa.
we got?
You're like, I love the young people.
Right? So I got my
You
hat on
kids
backwards.
stay
I gotta.
off my lawn.
I'm hanging out with the kids. No, not hanging out with the
Yeah,
kids.
well.
Yeah. So anyway, too much of that going on with a lot of people. Bill Belichick. All right. So we're starting with re-signing people. First guy, I got to just get him out of the way. Austin Hooper. And I actually did put years in money for this one. Give him a 2-year, $9 million deal. Why not? Little bit of an upgrade from last season. I wrote down little reasons too, Liam, kind of like you did with your stream of thought. He had a connection with May, as we all saw. He's a good tight end. If he has to kind of jump in there and start, he can. He knows the offense a little bit, even though it is going to change, but he
Different
knows
offense.
Drake May.
Yeah.
But that's my big thing. He knows Drake May. He seemed to enjoy it here. Why go get someone else right now? Keep Austin Hooper here. Hunter Henry's only here for another couple of years as well, another few years as well. So might as well just keep them together. Maybe drop their replacement. I don't know. Spoiler alert for later. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, I just think good player. I think you reward players for playing well. Yeah, seems like a Vrabel guy too. Doesn't seem like, just seems like he just wants to go out there and play football. So
Pretty sure he was on the Titans, if I remember correctly.
I think so too, but I don't know if I didn't know if it overlapped. That was one of the things I forgot to look up.
He was on the Titans with Mike Vrabel. No shit.
Okay, yeah. See, so
22.
Yeah, so he's in. Yeah, he's in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ain't that some shit.
thoughts, Austin Hooper? I'm going to give you guys a chance to say your quick thoughts after
Yeah,
I
you
do.
talked yourself into it. I agree.
Mhm.
He's been the most productive tight end out of the tight end experiments that we've had. I can see why you'd want to keep him, although I did part
Yep.
ways.
1 for 1. That's a good one. One
There
for
we
one.
go. 1 for 1. All right. This one I'm curious about. Because Al, you weren't around when Liam and I were talking about his people, but we did talk about this guy a little bit. Dietrich Wise. I
I
want to keep
heard
him
that.
here.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to keep him here. He's a former captain, so that means something. Not just for any NFL teams, but it means something for the Patriots as well. He's one of the lone players who had a passable 2024. Like, granted, just like everybody else, he wasn't great, but he was there. Also a locker room leader, good guy to have. I'm not saying you got to sign him for a big thing, maybe a 2-year deal, maybe even a 1-year deal. I don't know, whatever he wants to do. He wants to come back. He's already stated that. Like, why not have him back? Injuries, we saw injuries all year last season. People get hurt. He can take on more of a workload, but I like having him there, maybe to spell Keon White a little bit. Maybe Keon White starts to take over his role, and maybe you trade Wise after next year, or you just sign him to a 1-year deal. I'm down with Wise. How you guys feel about it?
Liam, you go.
I I like him. I go back and forth. Last year he wasn't particularly productive. I thought he was hurt for longer than he was last year. It's crazy. He only started 5 games last year when I really don't think we had any better options for him.
No.
So that one's a little weird for me. There's a ton of reasons, mostly the consistency that I want to keep him around, and there's a
Mhm.
ton of reasons that I can't quite put my finger on that he's not as productive as the price tag will probably demand for him, and that usually, that steers me away from him. I think I ended up saying we'll keep him as well, but I was very bipolar on the matter.
Mhm. Yep.
I'll go a little different. I'm gonna go, not that you don't need him, but
But you
he's not a
don't.
necessity. He's not a necessity for next year. You have a lot of young linemen and stuff too, and you're probably
Mhm.
gonna add to that, whether it's in
Oh,
free
you are.
agency or the draft. So I'm okay with not having Dietrich Wise next year.
Yeah,
I'm out. I'm out on Wise.
He had
I get that.
29 tackles. That's really low.
I
Yeah.
get it. And you know what? I might even put that like just, and I know you can't excuse everything away. I think maybe like the fact that he didn't flash was maybe just because the defense wasn't great as a whole. But I just think you get him here for a 1-year deal. Doesn't even have to be anything crazy. Maybe a 1-year team option for 2, whatever. Like I said, he's already said he wants to be here. He'll probably take a little bit of a discount. Like, get him here, just another body in here. You never know when injuries are going to happen, or you can just cut him if he doesn't, play well enough. I don't know. Second one, this one I feel like is a little bit more polarizing. I have stayed on this guy. I want him on the team. Jonathan Jones, another locker room guy, good character guy. He's been going around with Christian Gonzalez doing interviews and everything like that. But the caveat, and Liam, I brought this up. I told you last week. I think you got to put him to safety, or at the very least, move him to the slot corner, because that's where he used to play. He used to play in the slot. Then he got really good, went to the outside. And then, as we saw, he is getting a little bit older, getting a little nicked up. Put him as a slot safety, something like that. Like you said
We have
last
Marcus
week,
Jones
Liam.
in the slot, though.
Yeah, but Marcus Jones, I'm assuming with McDaniels here, Marcus Jones is going to be playing a little bit more on offense too. So he might be going back and forth. You don't know his injury history as well. He's coming off an injury. And then, like I said, you still need bodies at corner. So,
Yeah.
because like right now, if you were to have him go, you got Christian Gonzalez, Marcus Jones, and exactly. Like, that's who you have. You're going to have
Yeah.
to sign people, whether it's Alex Austin, you can sign some people as well. But like, I'd like to see him here. Like I said, I want to see him move a little bit to safety, kind of like Devin McCourty did, kind of play like a whatever needs to happen role on defense. I knew this one would be a little meh. How do you guys feel about bringing him back? 2-year deal, let's just say, whatever.
Um, I'm 50-50, leaning 51-49 in. I think because you have the need for that second corner, because
Mhm.
Marcus Jones is obviously somebody that you can't depend on to stay on the field.
Yeah, he's also
So,
small too, which is a thing. He's
right,
very undersized. Yeah.
right. So you know what? I'll lean toward in for Jonathan Jones. So I'll give you that one, but it's not by a wide margin, so to speak.
Yeah. Liam? Jonathan Jones. I know you're kind of lukewarm on him too, just from talking
Yeah,
last week.
just too many bad plays stick out in my head. The coverage just isn't what it used to be, and we don't need a 32-year-old corner. If we let Stephon Gilmore walk at a younger age than we let Jonathan Jones, I just think that would be completely backwards.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. And that's why I thought like it's kind of an iffy thing. Get him here on a 2-year deal, whatever. Because I think he probably only has 2 good years, maybe 1 good year left in him. Um, get him here, get him in. And guess what, guys? That's my last guy I want them to resign. I have him resigning.
Wow.
So for
Okay.
me, people like Jacoby Brissett, gone. JaMychal Hasty, gone. Okorafor, obviously gone. Trey Jacobs is here, so whatever. Ben Brown is here. Oh, we'll bring those 2 up in a second too. O'Shane Zimenez, like I liked it a little bit, maybe practice squad guy. Daniel Aquale, I went back and forth on, but no. This one hurt me. Christian Ellis, Liam, we talked about it. I like him. I wouldn't hate if they brought him back, but just with what I did on this whole plan, I think we can just kind of
Really
get
didn't
him
fit,
out.
huh?
Yeah, and then Jalen
You better
Hawkins
have
and
a
Joey
fucking
Sly.
master plan down the stretch, or I'm going to be real mad at you.
Don't worry, don't worry. You'll see my play. But yeah, that's who I'm bringing back. Anybody you guys definitely would have brought back, or anybody you think I might have
Christian Ellis.
missed?
Yeah, I would
Christian
have brought
Ellis is the
back
guy.
Christian Ellis,
Yeah,
100%. He was
I see
he
that.
was number one on my re-signing board,
Yep.
absolutely bar none. I'd let
I
everyone
remember
else
we
go
talked
before I
about
let
him. It
him
hurt.
go.
I
Yeah,
had him on. I had to take him
yeah.
off. I had to take him
Very,
off.
very spiteful. Before we move on to the next thing, I did want to just get Al's comments. I saw some of it in the chat, but what did you think of mine after you left?
Yeah.
Little outside the box. The Nelson Aguilar thing was really dumb, and it was dumb that you
Yeah,
tried
I
to
knew
put it in
you'd
there
love
as a
that
joke.
one.
You know, I think you and I are more on the same page than I think you even said in the podcast. I think we're thinking the same thing,
Yeah,
just
oh,
maybe just a
100%.
little bit different of guys,
Yeah,
which
and
is
that
fine.
that was actually my point where I'm like, me and Al are strikingly close on a lot of things.
Mhm.
We're looking at the same teams to get guys. We're just looking at different players.
Right, exactly. Which, if you get any players on the Eagles, whether it's Josh Sweat or Milton Williams, is that his name? Or
Yeah,
yeah,
Zach
Milton
Bond.
Williams.
Mhm.
I think we were looking at another team too. It
yeah,
was
the
like,
Ravens offensive line.
Ravens. Yep.
I
yeah,
said Makari and you said Stanley.
Stanley. Yeah.
Mhm.
So um,
But like truly, like very on the same page. Great minds.
yeah,
I
Dumb
needed
minds.
you there for my math portion though. I was trying to do the math out and I kind of gave up halfway
That's
through.
why. That's
Sorry.
part of why I didn't do money. I was like, I don't even want to think about that. Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
I think I kept it up for a little bit, but
2 guys the Patriots did sign though, since we're just kind of leaving the re-signees. They re-signed Ben Brown and Demontre Jacobs. I'm cool with
sucks.
each of them. I like Ben Brown a little bit more. Just because we saw Jacobs play and not play well more. We saw Ben Brown pretty much play solid for what he was asked to do, and what his skill set is. Thumbs up from me. I know we talked about it a little bit in the chat, but just so we can get the thoughts out there. Thoughts from you guys on Ben Brown and Jacobs being back, Trey Jacobs, whatever you want to call him.
good depth signing, and that's all it should be. It should be a good depth signing,
Yep.
and now the work begins to actually get your starting linemen.
Mm-hmm.
frankly, I'm disgusted.
Okay, so moving on, and I know because you fucking wanted every offensive lineman ejected from the team.
Yes.
All right. After re-signees, guys, we're going to trades. Similar to UL, similar actually to everyone. I
Here we
did
go.
one
Here's
trade.
the Jews. Whoa.
I did one trade just because I didn't, and I was kind of telling Al before we jumped on, because like I want to do more with the drafts because I think that's more realistic. Trades, you don't know who's really going to accept what, then you're giving away too many picks. I also don't think the Patriots, this front office, is going to want to give up picks that much, you know, whether it's to move up or get guys. I think they value drafting guys, developing them, and all that stuff. So I did one. So I have, it's not going to be who you guys think. Actually, it might be. I have the Patriots sending a 2025 4th round pick, the 105th pick in the draft, to a team that currently does not have a 4th round pick. I have them sending him over, sending that pick to the San Francisco 49ers for Deebo Samuel.
Ooh.
Now, in my eyes, right now, he's on a 1-year, $17.5 million contract, right? You can do one of two things. You can trade him over there, say, hey, prove it. We want to sign you, but we want to see what you got. We all know Debo, a little bit chunky going into the year. Football chunky. So like real life, he's fine. But football, a little bit out of shape. Didn't seem to be as invested, which that could be the team was bad. He went through some injuries, all that fun stuff. The team is going to cut him anyway. That's pretty much what's happening. Like I said, he is coming off an injury, so you should be able to get him for a little bit lower, like if you want to re-sign him. But I like the fact that you have a veteran in the room. You have someone with talent. You don't need him to be the number one Debo when he was, jet sweeps for 50 yards and doing all this stuff. But I think it's important to get someone in there who's a professional, who's good, who can kind of help bring these guys along. So I think you send a 4th-round pick over to the Niners, get him over here. And that is going to be the only trade I have the Patriots doing. So how do you guys feel about that? And is it who you thought it was going to be? Because I think we all thought it was going to be DK Metcalf, right?
Yes.
Yeah, either Metcalf or Cooper Kupp or someone like that. But
Debo, I went outside the box.
Debo for a 4th. You know what? I kind of dig that trade. I dig it. Now the question is, are you going to be able to sell him on what you said, play for the contract, or is he going to come? Or is he going to come and be a pain in the ass and be like, "Oh no, I'm not going to, play without a contract."
So we'll see. And my thought process behind that is I don't think this is the year the Patriots go all in and fix the offense, so to speak, when it comes to receiver. I think that might be next year. I think this year Patriots fans are going to be kind of underwhelmed with what the team does receiver wise. Because, obviously we know T. Higgins might not be coming. Chris Godwin's as good as staying with the Bucks. Are they going to draft a receiver with the first pick? I don't know. Are they going to draft anybody with a high pick? Are they going to be able to trade for DK? In my scenario, in my world, they tried to get DK Metcalf. The Seahawks just either didn't deal it to him or maybe they got a better deal or something. They tried to get Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp didn't want to come here. End of his career, he didn't want to come play in a cold place. He wanted to win now, maybe. Maybe he wanted to go do whatever. I think Debo ends up coming here, whether it's Kendrick Bourne reaching out to him, just because, Kendrick Bourne reaches out to everybody. He sees that Drake May is there. The word around the streets, the football streets, is Drake May is the guy to play for. I think that might be it. And then he might want to prove himself on this 1-year deal to get a bigger contract. So that's where my thought process is with Debo. Liam, what do you think? And I know you're surprised it's not DK because DK is my guy.
I am. I definitely am surprised.
I was surprised too when I wrote it. I was like, damn, Mike.
You're like, good for me.
Not DK. All right. Shit.
I mean, how upset can you be about a 4th-round pick? But at the same time, like, I don't see a lot of value in Debo Samuel. Like, even if we traded for him like last year, I'm looking at his stats now. They're just
a decent year.
He actually he had his third most receiving yards, third most receiving yards. No, I'm wrong. I was reading this backwards.
He had like 805, I think, last year. 800 and something. Right?
No, he had 670 last year. So not great. He hasn't had a 1,000-yard receiving season. 2024. He had 51 receptions for 670 yards. I was reading it backwards too.
Yeah,
because at the top of the list, 2019, he had 802. But he hasn't had a 1,000-yard receiving season since 2021. He hasn't had over 1,000 yards all purpose since. I guess he did it in 2023, the year they went to the Super Bowl. But before then, right? He's just underwhelming to me. I at least I thought I'd be getting a bit better of a wide receiver. Certainly, he's better than what we got, and the 4th-round pick isn't much for it. But I don't know. I'm not in love with the move, but I won't say no.
That is the reaction I'm expecting to come across Twitter when this happens. So you reacted exactly how I thought. My thought process, we don't need 1,000. We don't need 1,200-yard Debo. I don't think that. Yeah. I think there's a 1,000-yard pass catcher on the team. I think it's Demario Douglas, Douglas. I think he's going to be the one who gets there. So, I think Debo is just the guy. He's almost like that transition guy you get for a couple of years. Maybe 3 years, you trade him after 2, just to like bridge the gap to the new thing. Because like I said, I think this year is going to be for a lot of the young receivers to see who they have, for Vrabel to see who he has. And then next off season is when he really goes out and either gets the big name guy or drafts the big name guy or whatever happens. But that's why I picked Debo. Again, that's just my thought process behind him. So in a 4th-round pick, I mean, there's been great players picked with a 4th-round pick, but
Yeah.
I mean, not the end of the world to trade it over to him. So, that's my trade. Debo. Now we got free agency. A fair amount of people. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. I got them signed in free
Wow.
agency,
Okay.
which seems like a lot, but it's not. 20, whatever. They signed 23 people in 2021 or whatever it was. So
True.
we'll start with the sexiest position out there, offensive line. Liam, you and I were on the same page. Patrick McCarry, 27 years old. Get him over here. Get him at left guard. Strange can be a good backup for him. Maybe he can learn something. And like, if for some reason McCarry goes down, you have a backup in Cole Strange who can come into play. Like I kind of thought of that as well.
He can't get hurt if he's on the bench.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, I think Patrick McCarry, that's like, that to me is a no-brainer. Ronnie Staley, maybe he's on my list, maybe he's not. I do think he's going to be a pretty high price tag, but I think realistically, and kind of what you need, Patrick McCarry. Liam, I know how you feel. I'm assuming it's thumbs up. Al, Patrick McCarry, left guard. He's 27 too. I thought he was a little older, but
I don't know if left guard is the biggest need on the line, but if you want to go in and you want to get a solid left guard to especially help you in the run game, then you can have the 2 guards in McCarry and Onwenu with Andrews in the middle. Like, that's fine. That's a good move.
yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd rather protect the middle of the line and keep them bolstered. Obviously everyone wants a good left tackle. We don't want Drake May to get Joe Theismann, but if you can step up in the pocket, having confidence of 2 guards, I think that's more important than guys coming off the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's my day. Like, I know Patriots have a bunch of holes. As I was doing this, I was like, holy shit, they have a lot more like needs than like I thought.
You're like, I'm not prepared for this.
Which is crazy. All right, next one. We're gonna stick with offensive line, right? Super sexy. Al, I'm sorry, but I'm going right guard. Trey Smith. Get him from Kansas City. This is the guy you give a big contract to. Give him a 5-year, $100 million deal, whatever the numbers need to be, signing bonus, whatever it is. Have him be your right guard for the future. That's what I think. You have him. You have Layden Robinson as well, who can, if for some reason Trey Smith, like he kind of starts to falter, you need to trade him or something, or if he gets hurt, there's still a backup there. Or if you can't get him to, you do also have Layden Robinson still on your team if you want to try to have him be right guard. But no, I think you throw the bag at Trey Smith. Like I say, he's 25 years old, coming from Kansas City, so he's used to kind of that mobile quarterback too, blocking for. He has the championship pedigree, if you want to talk about that, if that matters to you. But yeah, I think you shore up the left guard and the right guard with these 2 moves here. What do you guys think of that?
I like it.
You're
Juicy.
going 5 years too, like I said. Like this is the guy you got to outbid the Bears for him, because he's been rumored to go with the Bears too. Outbid him. You can outbid anybody. This is the guy.
Yeah, 100%. I like him a lot.
I like the name. I just don't love the fact of kicking Onwenu back out to tackle because I think he's just a better guard. Like, again, Trey Smith, big name on the line.
Yeah.
But now you're depending on Mike Onwenu to come in and just be a tackle. Like, I don't know. I
thought he was a better tackle than he was a guard. Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's just, I mean, last year, who knows what it was. But I think
that's true.
He's comfortable with playing either, I guess. But just put him at tackle. Say, this is your fucking position.
Yeah, if you're going to tell Mike Onwenu all offseason, like, work on your tackle skills, work on being the right tackle in the future, then fine. Then shore up the guard positions with McCarry and Trey Smith. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So I'm going, like Liam said, I like protecting the middle. Because what have we seen? I mean, what did we just see in the Super Bowl? When you have pressure immediately up the middle, it fucks with every quarterback, whether you're Tom Brady or you're Matt Schaub. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Like, pressure up the middle, pressure. I knew you were going to like him for some reason. Pressure up the middle is the worst. So yeah, solidify that. And
everyone
honestly,
should like Matt Schaub.
Those are my only 2 linemen I got. So I figured in my head too, just to kind of tell you where I was in this reality, the Patriots get outbid for Ronnie Staley somehow.
That's what I was thinking too. That's why I didn't.
And I think people get upset about it because they're like, how do you, like, the most important part of the line? Like, how do you not do it? It just happens. Maybe he just didn't want to come here. Like, I don't, the whole Baltimore thing, whatever it happened to be, he doesn't come here. Maybe he goes to Kansas City. I don't know. But
I could see
yeah,
it.
I don't think he ends up coming. So those are my offensive line things. Now I got another one. Outside linebacker, Robert Spillane from Vegas. Dude's a tackling machine.
Is he
He
an
was
outside linebacker?
yeah, he could play anywhere. He would just list as outside linebacker. He can play across the entire thing. Fun fact, undrafted free agent in Vrabel's first year in Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
There's a connection. There's always a connection. He
That's a
defends
good
the
one.
pass. He defends the pass pretty well. He, like I said, he kind of does everything. Bentley and Jennings, by the way, Jennings is here for another few years. Bentley's last year is next year.
Oh, shit.
So I'm pretty sure, or maybe it was in 2 years. I forget what it was. I wrote it down here somewhere, but whatever. Either way, though, these guys are coming up. Bentley's coming off an injury as well. Yeah, this is his last year, Jawan Bentley. So you got to try to, build that linebacker core again. I'm assuming Christian Ellis isn't coming back. I'm assuming Jelani Tavai is going to be gone. Marte Mapu, he's your safety linebacker hybrid. Taki's gone. Yeah, this is the guy. Give him whatever 3-4 year deal. Mike Vrabel talked about the trenches. Linebackers are like an extension of the trenches in my eyes.
Yeah.
So I think he understands the importance of that, being a linebacker himself. So you have to stop the run, and this is what Spillane does. He's also good defending the pass. Yeah, and he's a white guy, so Mike Vrabel might see himself in him.
Yeah. So. I do like Robert Spillane. He was a Gruden grinder as well, so that makes me like him even more so.
Yep.
So I do like Robert Spillane. He was a beast on the Steelers as well. I want to look at his stats.
Multi-purpose linebacker. I'll take it.
Yeah, right. And he's tackling machine too. He had like 145 combined tackles or something last year, 120, something like that. Like he's a guy. He's a guy you can just plug out there and say,
Jesus, 158.
150. Yes, I knew it was something big like that.
Jesus fuck.
You know what I mean? Like that's a guy, because like I said, I'm pretty sure Jawan Bentley this last year. Jennings, I think he's here till 2027, I believe. So whatever, like, he's going to be here for a little bit, but maybe you can get out from under his contract if he starts to, fall a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we saw what it looks like when you have one linebacker that goes down and nobody else is ready to step up. So why not just bolster the hell out of this linebacking core? So yeah, Robert Spillane, get him in here. He's leaving Vegas. I mean, if he puts up numbers in Vegas, like, he should do well here as well. So next one, I want to know how you guys feel about this. A name you've all heard. And it's not Matthew Judon. Get this, right, Liam? Matthew Judon. That's your little thing. Coming from Cleveland, Devin Bush.
Ooh, interesting.
Just a little 1 year deal. Nothing crazy. Just a 1 year deal. Maybe just a kind of like a sub package guy. He former first round pick, as we know. You should be able to get him cheap. I even wrote in caps here: linebacker room needs bodies. Get him in here. You have a talented guy. Vrabel was there last year, so we don't know what the connection was. Did he like him? Did he not? He's at least aware of him. Obviously, as we know, he's aware of Devin Bush. But yeah, just a quick little 1 year deal. Nothing crazy. Just get him in. I don't know if people are going to want him because I think he had an injury last year too. But yeah, that was one I haven't seen. So what do you guys think of Devin Bush?
What position again for Devin Bush?
Linebacker, baby.
Linebacker.
Another linebacker.
Yeah. Yeah. Get used to it, bucko. Because like I said, all you have on the roster right now is Jawan Bentley and Anthony Jennings. That's it.
I remember hearing Devin Bush got the bust label, and I heard a ton of terrible things about him. I loved him coming out of Michigan. And his stats aren't atrocious, although they're definitely not stellar. It could be way fucking worse.
Yeah. That's why I think he's just going to be like a sub package guy. Like he's been in the league for 5 years now, 4 or 5 years or so, something like that.
Yeah. Does not
be
play
a
the passing lanes at all. This dude.
No. This is just someone you have in there. Just, you need talent. Have him in the room. And it's a 1 year deal. Cut him. If he gets hurt or doesn't play well or whatever, just be done with him. Like I said, on the roster right now, you have 2 linebackers. So you got to start getting people in there. I don't count Keon White. I know Keon White is a linebacker, but I'm not counting him as a linebacker. But yeah, Devin Bush, I kind of threw him on there as a flyer too. Next one. This one actually came out after you guys did yours, so you couldn't have him on your list. DeMarcus Walker, Chicago defensive end. In 2022, he was with Vrabel in Tennessee, where he had 7 sacks, which is his career high. So I think bring him on over. We don't know what's going on with Barmore. We don't know if he's going to be able to play immediately to start the year. Godshaw's getting a little bit up there. Just a rotational piece. That's all he is. He's not going to be a starter. If he has to, whatever, you plug him in for a little bit. But I'm talking just rotation. Get people in there. NASCAR package, as they say. Just keep throwing people around there.
I've
do you guys
never
think?
fucking heard of this guy. He had 7 sacks. I've never even heard of him.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
He's from Chicago. Careers aren't great.
he has a very like common football name, DeMarcus Walker. Like you've heard both of those names a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard them together. I looked him up a little bit. I didn't do all 22 research, but I was like, listen, he's got the Vrabel connection. He played well under Vrabel. Cool. Bring him here.
Yeah.
2-year deal. Whatever.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, just a rotational thing. Doesn't need to be a starter.
Keep an open mind.
Exactly. All right. Next one. This is the big one. Al, you seem to get annoyed when I brought up linebackers. Here's another one, pal. Zach Vaughn from Philly.
Ooh, okay.
Sign him. Give him whatever, a deal similar to Robert Spillane. I don't need to explain to him. You know what's going on with him. Started off in special teams, played his ass off last year. Won not a runner-up, but he got defensive player of the year votes, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Should have won.
Yeah. Get him here. You can actually what the hell did I write here? Yeah, he can lead the linebacking core after Bentley. Yeah, this is Bentley's last year, 2026. So yeah. I'm figuring Bentley's going to be gone. You're going to have to rebuild the linebacking core. These are the guys you do it with. Zach Vaughn, a little bit of Robert Spillane, get them cooking in there. Keon White doesn't have to worry about covering people. Like, let's go. Get him in. What do you guys think of Zach Vaughn? I know he's a good player, but what do you think? I know it's linebacker heavy right now, but like the defense needs to be completely rebuilt.
What do I think of Zach Vaughn?
I know what you think about him.
I like Zach Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way the Eagles are not going to resign him.
I mean, who knows? Like he won his championship. Now just go get your money. That's what players do. So, and the Patriots have the money to give. And I think the reason why I went a little bit linebacker heavy here, or defense in general, with this entire plan, kind of, because I think Vrabel understands the importance of defense. Like this defense was horrible last
year. Yeah.
Like we need bodies, we need depth pieces as well. So yeah, I think Zach Vaughn would be great. He's really him and Trey Smith. They're really like the big signings that I would want the Patriots to get. Throw cash at, like if you want to say throw the bag at them. Those are the two guys I would want you to do that to.
Is that what the kids say nowadays, Mike?
That's what they say. I don't know. Yeah. That's when I'm hanging out with the kids out in the playground.
Let's not say that.
No.
All right.
Oh God, my Belichick is showing. Wait, let me just take a brief pause real quick.
Good call.
Have you? Yeah, right. You know where I'm going. Not a great segue because it doesn't segue at all. Sports
It was
Spider.
terrible.
Guys, Sports Spider. Whether you're walking through the playground, whether you're in the trail, whatever you're on, open up your phone right now, type in Sports Spider, Spider with a Y, go to NFL, go to Patriots. See us right at the top. If you don't see us, scroll down a little bit. We'll be there. You've heard it before. I've been saying it. Go listen. Go click. I don't know what you're doing right now other than listening to this if you're not going to do that. Sports Spider. Again, Sports Spider with a Y. I looked at the post-it today, so I saw it. So we're good. Additionally, go to Couch Guy Sports. If for some reason your Sports Spider isn't loading, maybe Sports Spider doesn't get service on the trail. You know what does? Couch Guy. Couch Guy Sports gets service on the trail. Go take a look at that. Liam, I believe you're on Couch Guy as well, right?
And on the trail. Yes, I am.
You're on the trail as well. The Raptors pod, you want to listen to the Celtic stuff, he's on there as well. But obviously listen to Tuck Rule Takes first, then do the Raptors, or either or. Just that what's important is that you go there and take a listen, take a read, take a look.
Just got to get your daily dose of me.
That's it. Yeah, double dose. I don't think anyone needs that.
I beg to differ.
We're back to free agents, guys. We only got a few more free agents. This one, corner, Paulson Adebo from New Orleans.
Okay.
4 years with the Saints. He's coming off. He only played 7 games last year. He broke his femur, so it's not like a freak. It's not like a chronic injury thing. He had like a legit injury. Broke his femur. Sign him for like 2 or 3 years or so. Like I said, though, he is coming off an injury, so get him in here. Like we mentioned before we started talking about this, Marcus Jones, injury history. If he's playing a little bit more, you don't know the wear and tear. If you don't sign Jonathan Jones, if you don't do my plan, which I don't know why you wouldn't, get him in here. So yeah, I think you just need corners in there too. Him and Gonzalez, Jonathan Jones kind of floating around too. Marcus Jones coming in there. I think that's a great defensive backfield. Great corners. So how do you guys feel about him? Did you even know he existed? Because I didn't up until a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I do know who that is.
He had a big pick, I believe, in forget what game, but yeah, he had like a big play. But yeah, broke his femur last year. So maybe you can get him on the cheap, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, take him from the Saints, put him in the defense, solidify the defense. That's what I want them to do.
Yeah, he had a big pick against the Cowboys. That was a beautiful game. Smoked the Cowboys 44-19. But yeah, his numbers are pretty solid. 4 years in the league, 3 picks, 0 picks, 4 picks, 3 picks. So besides the one outlier a year, the dude gets to the rock.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just he's young too. So you can get him, if you can get him on like a 3-year deal. Yeah. Pair him with 3-4-year deal, pair him with Gonzalez. Like, I think that's a good little twosome you got back there.
Do you want to trade for Debo and then sign a Debo?
A Debo. Yeah. We got Debos and Debos all over the field, just like the Jones. Just like when you have Mac Jones, Marcus Jones, Jonathan Jones, all of them. Jack Jones.
Every
Remember Panda Jack?
Yeah, please. He's actually balling too. I'm so pissed.
Yeah, we actually did have every McCourty. You could not have more McCourtys in the
You couldn't. Yeah.
You said there were not
the most McCourtys possible.
Yes, McCourtys to the max. All right, next, just to round out the defensive backfield, Juan Thornhill just became available today. Really? Cleveland is going to be letting him go. He played in Cleveland last year, which Vrabel was there as well. So another little Vrabel connection. Get him there because Kyle Duggar, we saw Kyle Duggar last year. I know he had the nagging injury, but just like his play did not seem well. We talked about it a lot. Then you also have Peppers. Peppers plays really hard. You don't know injuries with him. He's here for another couple of years. Duggar is also signed too as well, but I'm talking injuries. There's a way to get rid of a couple of these guys in a couple of years too, if you want to have, an out in the contract. So yeah, I think it's good. Marte Mapu as well. He can play safety, but he's not reliable. He's still young. He can barely stay on the field too. So sign a safety who can actually, play back there a little bit. Maybe you draft one. I don't know. We'll talk about it when we get to the draft, but yeah, Juan Thornhill. He also played on the Chiefs too. That's really where he played a lot. If you remember him. Yeah, if you remember him. So what do you think safety though? How do you feel me going safety?
You don't need
bringing someone in.
Yeah. Although you did let Hawkins go, we do need depth.
I let Hawkins go, and then Duggar. I mean, we were all talking about how Duggar wasn't really that good last year.
And then you got Peppers too. I mean,
yeah, no, but what? So 2 safeties, like that. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you have like a rotational thing back there. Mapu probably a little bit more of like a linebacker hybrid role, but I don't know.
So Thornhill's stats on the Browns are absolutely atrocious, but he was pretty fucking good on the Chiefs. So you got to think it's just a competent defense and that he can perform in, and maybe the Browns are just doing him an absolute disservice, but like his stats are brutal.
Yeah, that's why I'm talking. Like, he doesn't have to, he's not going to be your starter. He's going to be the guy that kind of comes in every once in a while, kind of plays that whatever, when say Pepper's got to come out for a little bit, maybe someone gets nicked up, gets hurt, he can come in. So yeah, that's why I'm thinking him. So, yeah. Okay. If you guys, okay, well, we'll get to it when we get to it, but all right. Oh, I forgot I put this guy on here. Guys, we moved to offense now. So I got 2 more free agents. The former Houston Texans wide receiver, Stephon Diggs.
Oh.
Bring him in. Bring him in. I got reasons. He's coming off an ACL. Take a flyer on him. This is a 1-year deal. This is nothing crazy.
Do you think he would sign a 1-year deal when he'd probably get a multiple-year deal?
I don't know if he will because he's coming off an ACL injury. Some teams might be a little nervous on it. You can blow some teams out of the water if you need to. You may not. This was the one where it's like he may not come here, but would he pass up playing the Bills twice a year? He
No.
seems like the player that would want to do that. You know what I mean?
He
And like
does.
he's also in that circle of players where I'm sure people are talking about how Drake May is good to play with. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
seems like that type of receiver who's like, yeah, I want to play with a guy who can like sling it, Josh Allen type. So yeah, I think you can get him here for a year, get Debo here for 2 or whatever. Get Stephon Diggs here for 2, Debo here for 1, mix and match whatever you want to do with them. But yeah, and I think that's going to be another one where Patriots fans are going to be like, we like it, but like the corpse of Stephon Diggs is going to come here. Dude, he's still talented. Like when he was healthy,
old
he
is
was
he?
still good. So I don't know, 28 probably, something like that. But yeah, I think so. So were you guys expecting Stephon Diggs out while Liam looks up his age? What do you
No,
think? Diggs, bring him here for a year, 1
I
year,
like it.
whatever.
I like that move because if you remember when he was a free agent with Buffalo, before the Buffalo, it came down to Buffalo and New England,
Yep.
and he ended up
It
going to
did?
Buffalo. Yeah, it
Yep.
did.
I don't
Yep.
remember that.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
He doesn't mind
honestly,
playing in the cold.
yeah, he's played in the cold before in Buffalo. He probably wants, like you said, Mike, that little revenge factor. Like
Yep.
that's a big thing for some guys in football. So you know
You know
what?
that's a big thing for him. You know
I
that's a
would
big thing for
the
him.
only thing I would do a little different with that, I would give him like a 2-year deal
Okay.
and you make the second year like a team option or a player option. You make it an option of some sort.
Yeah, you'd
Throw
have to do
incentives in
multiple
there.
years.
I'd
Yeah.
throw like health incentives too, because he is coming off an injury. So be like, whatever.
Right.
Get
No
it.
one
Yeah.
gives a fuck about torn ACLs anymore. Like, let's call a spade a spade. Like,
They should.
Brees Hall came off a torn ACL and
Yeah, but you
crushed
know
it.
teams overthink that shit. Once like it starts getting
Yeah,
to
but
that
not
point.
anymore. Modern medicine's a marvel, and I think everyone knows that
Yeah.
everyone has the
No,
utmost
most
confidence
people
and
do,
stuff
but some
like that.
teams are gonna be like, oh no. But yeah, I think I would like Liam. What do you think of him coming here though? Would you like it?
Obviously, like it'd be really cool, mostly for the culture. Like he's a monster, but like
Yeah. He's cool. He
he's
just brings that like real life Javon Baker like swag.
yeah,
Like
he's
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 everything Baker
31
wants to be.
though. Like
Yeah, that's why I'm
he's
saying just a little deal.
yeah, I like Al's idea. Player option or team option the second year.
Yeah. So Stephon, I think that would shock people. And I think people would get a little excited after like the shock factor wore off because they'd be like, oh shit, like we saw
We got
Stephon
Stephon
Diggs
Diggs.
like burn Christian Gonzalez. Like, let's
Yeah.
see Diggs come in here. Like, I think that'd be good. And I think that helps the young guys. And that's why I'm going small years on the 2 receivers. Because like I said, I don't think this is like the big receiver. Now that Higgins is gone and Godwin isn't going to be coming around, like I don't think that they sign like the next number 1 guy here. I think these are your bridge guys that get you to where you need to be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My last offensive signing, or actually my last signing, guys, the illustrious, the great. You know how much I love this side of the field, this side of the
Nelson
ball.
Aguilar.
We're getting Michael Badgley from Detroit, kicker. Because I think Joey Sly is gone. So I think you're just getting a kicker. Just fill his, 29.
I never even realized that you did let Joey Sly go.
Yeah, he's gone. Age doesn't matter, but yeah, he's 29. Yeah, whatever. Sign him over here. I think I threw this one in
super
just for
solid.
shits and giggles. But I do
cool.
also like him. I think he's good. So yeah.
Former Chargers kicker. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah. He
But
was on
probably
Detroit
better
last
than
year.
Sly.
Good team.
Outside
Yeah,
the
I mean-
top 5 kickers are a dime a dozen. Besides like the
Yeah. That's
top
why I
5.
literally just threw him on here because I was like, you know what? We're getting rid of Sly. Let's fucking end it on a high note with them.
Joey Sly. I can't get
So-
over the way Mayo used to say it. I thought that was funny.
All right. So before we get into the draft, do you guys have any overall thoughts on kind of how I'm building my team so far? Any glaring things you kind of think I should or shouldn't have done? Signings, not signings?
It's definitely unique. I think you really tried to be realistic here, which I think is
That was going to be my question. Do you?
Yeah,
It's realistic,
no, it was,
correct?
Yeah.
It's
The
definitely
only
realistic.
The only
I
part
don't
where I
agree
think it
with
might,
it, but I think it's realistic.
so we agreed on Macari. The only part where I think it might not be is them getting Spillane and Bond, 2 linebackers, 2 young, whatever ones. But I think that if they're going to make a splash, I think that's where it's going to be. So we'll see what happens. Now, if you guys really want to get your fucking shit rocked and kind of start to say, Mike, what are you doing? This is not going to happen. Just know anything that happened here, I ran through some draft simulators, so it is all realistic.
Oh boy.
Any trade
We're
got
about
accepted.
to see something crazy.
I feel like I'm building up. It's not that crazy. It kind of is. Okay. So Patriots, They got the 4th pick in the draft, right, boys?
Indeed.
Yeah.
No, the fuck they don't. Not anymore. Patriots are going to trade the 4th pick to. I went back and forth with a few teams, right? So after I tell you who, I'm going to tell you who I
Fielded
had it
some
on there.
calls.
So I thought the Raiders, the Raiders called. They were like, "Hey, what do you want?" I was like, "Hey, man, we want your 6th pick. We want some more too. We want that 37th pick. We want that too. Throw in like, maybe your 3rd rounder." They said, no. I said, all right, fuck off. The Saints came calling. The Saints said, hey, we want your 4th pick. We're the 9th pick. I said, whoa. That's a little deep. You got to give us something else. He said, we'll give you the 40th pick too. You know what I said, boys? I said, fuck yeah, do it.
Really?
Patriots trade with the Saints. Yep. Patriots move back with the Saints. They get the 9th and the 40th pick. The Saints wanted to throw their 71st pick in, but then they wanted us to give up the 77th. I was like, whoa. This is too much. This is too much trading. We're just going to go, you want to move up a pick. So in all it's going to cost you is just your 2nd round pick. That's fine. You know why? Because I think the Saints are either going to get, I even wrote why. I just surprised myself.
I was going to ask.
I wrote a little why. So I said, why? The Saints fall in love with Sanders, Ward, or Hunter, whoever's available. They want an impact guy. That's what I think they want a quarterback, if we're being honest, because where they are right now, they don't really have one. So I think if they're going to want to get one, if there's a quarterback on the board, which I'm assuming there is, I think Abdul Carter is going to go. I think one of the quarterbacks are going to go, and I think Travis Hunter is going to go. So there's going to be a quarterback on the board. I think the Saints are going to want said quarterback. I think they're going to move up for it. And like I said, all it's going to cost them is a 2nd round pick. So Patriots trade back to the 9th pick. What do you guys think of that?
I think you could have got a little more.
No, definitely. So I could have, and I think so. Like when I was
Are you
like
a
looking at it,
Saints fan?
When I was looking at it through like, putting these trades into like mock drafts and stuff like that, everything that came up was the Saints also giving up their 71st pick. But I was like, I don't think realistically they would do that though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So I didn't want to go like over zealous with it. I think they
I agree.
If they give up their 70, I'd even do a pick swap. We trade the 77th for their 71st. I'd do that too. But yeah, I don't know if they would. So I kind of just kept it there with just those 2 picks. I did have Carolina with the 8th pick too. I was like, maybe they go to Carolina with the 8th. I don't know. But I figured I went with the Saints, just picked one there. I do think the Patriots do trade out of that pick though, whether it's anybody there. Yeah, I think they trade out. And with the 9th pick in the draft, guys, listen, it's very boring. Very boring. They take Will Campbell. I think he's there.
He's available.
I think he's there. Yeah. I think the only way he might not be is if the Jags take him. But I think the Jags might trade out of that spot too.
I think the Jags want Hunter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If Hunter's not there, I think the Jags say, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to drop back a little bit. Maybe we trade with the Bears. Maybe the Bears get up there and they take a defensive lineman. Maybe someone's there. But yeah, I think the Patriots take Will Campbell. I don't need to explain it. They need a left tackle. I don't give a fuck. I am so sick of hearing about this guy's arms. He doesn't grade out as a guard. Shut the fuck up. He played left tackle in college. So guess what, guys? He grades out at a left tackle. Like players don't get
left tackle.
Players don't get exponentially like larger in terms of like their stature from college to the pros. They put on more muscles, of course, but people don't go from 6 feet tall to 8 feet tall. He can play left tackle. Will Campbell, you solidified the left tackle. Your offensive line is now Will Campbell, Makari at left guard, David Andrews at center, Trey Smith at right guard, Micah Wenner at right tackle. How do you guys feel about that Will Campbell pick and the offensive line now?
Juicy.
I hate it. I hate that you traded the 4th pick. I hate that you
I know you do because you fucking want to suck off Travis Hunter.
I want either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, and I think both of them are gonna let me rephrase that. I think one of them is gonna be there at 4. Because I think that the Titans love Cam Ward. I think there's a report that came out that the Giants love Shedeur Sanders. They're 23.
I saw that too, but no.
Listen, I think that Carter and Hunter are 2 of the better athletes in this draft. So you got to get 100%. One of them at 4.
I agree.
I hate it. I'm sorry. I hate it.
Finish what you're going to say.
That's hilarious.
So you know why I think I went with this? That'd be tremendous if you have Abdul Carr. Like, we're assuming we're grading him out. We think he's going to be great. That means dick if you don't have a good offensive line. And again, this is with me not getting Ronnie Stanley. So like this is my scenario. So like in yours, Al, where you get Ronnie Stanley, Abdul Carter makes sense. Travis Hunter, you know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of different ways to go, which is why this is so fascinating to me with like hearing all three of our things, because I think they're all good in their own way. It just depends on what you want to do.
With my first pick.
Yeah, which and that's fine too. Like I think there's so many ways to go. You said Travis Hunter, that could be an option too. If he's there at 4, I'm sure the Patriots are going to take it because they're probably.
I think Travis Hunter is the most sports radio take possible.
I think I think he's going to be fine, but I think we're going to look back and be like, was he really worth the 4th pick, the 3rd pick, whatever it happens to be? Just because I think at some point either his body's going to break down, he's not going to play both positions, he's only going to play one, and it's going to be like, should we have? It's going to be one of those things a couple of years from now. If we redo the 2025 draft, Travis Hunter would be like the 14th pick or like something like that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's why I went Will Campbell. I know you don't like it, Al. I know you don't. And I understand. I get it. You want that, the blue chip guy, but sometimes you got to go not sexy. Sometimes you got to eat your meat and potatoes. Sometimes, no, you know what? Sometimes you got to eat your green beans. That's what this is.
Yeah.
You got to grow big and strong, Al. I know when you're my age, Al, you'll understand, but you got to grow big and strong.
It's pretty close.
All right, guys. Next pick. Patriots have the 38th pick, right? No, the fuck they don't. Patriots trade the.
I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing
this
here,
makes sense. You want to know why this makes sense? Because they have the 40th pick. They have a pick 2 picks later.
Losing his mind.
What are we doing, Al? It makes so much sense. We're just sitting there. Why would they trade their 2nd pick? You know why? Because they have a pick 2 picks later. So they were going to trade one of them.
Or is it just a straight pick?
No. So they're trading the 38th pick to Carolina for the 57th pick and the 113th pick. So what this means, Carolina is going to move up about 20 spots. I said, why? Patriots, like the Panthers, like the Patriots, are rebuilding, but they're a little stupid. So they'll jump up basically 20 spots. They'll give up a 4th rounder because they have 2 4th rounders. So they're going to give up their worst 4th rounder, which is like 3 spots worse than the other one that they have. So they're going to move up about 20 spots, 19 spots, and they're going to give up their 2nd, 4th round pick. To move up and take whatever they want to do. Maybe they want to take a receiver that's there. Maybe Ted McMillan fell. They want to take him to pair with Bryce Young, whatever they want to do. The Patriots, though, with their 40th pick, which they are going to use. Al, I'm sorry, but again, 2nd pick, 2nd round, 40th pick in the draft. The Patriots are taking Jihad Campbell, linebacker, Alabama. This is a guy who's going to.
That's actually his name?
Jihad, I know. Awesome, right? You're gonna he's gonna need a little bit of time. He's a rookie. That's crazy. I mean, Liam, can I talk to you?
I think you have to.
Since when are linebackers not important in this NFL?
I mean, they are very important.
Yeah, they're very, very important. So I think
Jihad, by textbook definition, Jihad is a struggle or fight against the enemies of Islam.
Yeah, so he struggles or fights in pass coverage, I guess, if you want to talk about it.
That's fair.
No, so again, why
would we take a linebacker when we signed Zach Vaughn, assumably to a max contract?
Yeah. Let me tell you, it's easy. Spillane is good at what he does, but he's more of someone who eats up tackles, who kind of does what he has to do. He's like he's not going to be like your star linebacker. He's just someone who's going to always kind of play whatever position you need him to. Basically, Rob Dinkovich on steroids. That's what Spillane is.
Yeah.
Jihad can be someone who you pair next to Bond, like directly next to him. But he is also a rookie. So he's probably going to need like a year to kind of get his feet under him. Maybe at the end of this year, you start to see like, oh shit, he is like the real deal. He's coming from Alabama.
How many linebackers are you assuming were playing on the field at one time?
How many do you think you have to play? You have to play at least 3.
Not usually.
1,000% usually. It's either 3-4 or 4-3. There's no 2-5.
Yeah, but like if we're
5-2.
I'm assuming the outside linebackers are basically rushing, so you'd have 2 in the middle.
Yeah. So you have Spillane and what's his name? Jennings split time. Jennings isn't a starter anyways. He's
Spillane
kind of
doesn't
like a
rush
guy
the
who
passer.
jumps in. That's why I said you got to split him. That's why I said you split times.
Okay.
What don't you understand? Him and Jennings are splitting time, or him and Bentley, whichever one you want to do it with. Then you have Bentley and this guy splitting time as well. Bond is going to be on the field probably the entire time. So Bentley, by the way, this is Bentley's last year, guys. Bentley's gone after this year.
Yeah.
So why not get his replacement now, which, by the way, is Jihad Campbell.
Yes.
So you have both of them on the field now.
We're at the top of the draft, and you haven't addressed like some of our crucial needs.
So far, just to ask you guys, what hasn't been addressed so far in my plan?
The offensive line, yes, I understand.
Yes, it has.
That's
solidified.
a must. No. I'm saying that's a must. That you did address that. But that would be like you taking a linebackers like us taking a running back in the second round. Like we need it, but not that bad. We need it, but not that bad. Al, what do you think here?
I don't know what to think.
You didn't answer my question though. What else haven't I addressed other than receiver, which I kind of did, but don't worry, we get into receiver in the draft. But what else hasn't been addressed?
We could definitely use some defensive linemen. We're a severe lack of defensive linemen.
Like a pass rusher.
Pass rusher would be really nice.
Do you guys like Keon White? Do you think Keon White's going to evolve into anything? I got a corner. Already got a corner. Boom.
Who's your corner?
The Adebo.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's very good for his age, for what you're getting him. You guys are trying to poke
wide
holes
receiver.
And you just can't.
No, I can't. A wide
Stephon
receiver.
Diggs and Debo. Stephon and Debo. And don't worry. All I'm going to say is don't worry about receiver.
All I'm going to say is don't worry.
Tell me, Al, why don't you other than you have too many linebackers? This is like the punting doesn't matter stuff that you guys say. Why don't you like Jihad Campbell, who can take over for Bentley, who, let me repeat, this is his last year. Why don't you like Jihad Campbell?
It's not the player. It's just, again, I think you're overstacking at one position when there's so many positions of need right now.
I think you're just hedging your bet. You're taking all linebackers because you're inevitably going to be right because you're taking every linebacker off the board.
You take all linebackers because not everybody's going to hit. Because Jihad Campbell, very promising, might not hit just like any second rounder.
It's also going to take reps away from your boy, Anthony Jennings.
True.
I just said that they would split time.
I know. Why would you want them to split time when you're the Anthony
He's not
Jennings
my boy.
president?
Ronnie Perkins was my boy.
No, you like Jennings too a lot.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. But he'll split a little bit of time with him. But it's really going to be Bentley. This is Bentley's replacement right here. This is your guy. And I don't know if you guys know the new NFL, but you need linebackers to cover tight ends, a lot of slot receivers as well that kind of run over the middle. You need athletic guys who can cover. You also need guys who can rush the passer. Devin Bush is only here for a year. That was a flyer, like I said. You have him in case someone gets hurt. He's a situational guy. Zach Bond, he's going to be one of your starters. Bentley's gone. This guy, Campbell, is going to take over.
This will be the fourth linebacker you've brought in this offseason.
How many linebackers do you think? Look up right now the average amount of linebackers that teams have on their team.
It's more than 4
that actually play. It's like 5 that actually play. You have one that plays all the time, and you have a bunch of others that rotate in and out. Yes, you do. I looked it up because when I got to the end of this, I said, these are a lot of linebackers, Mike.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, I did. But no. They definitely need it. And like I said, because Bentley's gone, so this is basically Bentley's replacement. You got Zach Bond as well. These are your 2 stalwarts. Anthony Jennings, not a starter. He's a guy that comes in and out as well. Devin Bush is going to be gone after a year. That's another guy that you just kind of have in there. And then Spillane, I want you to get him too, but I don't know if you're going to. But I say you bring in bodies. Bring bodies in for linebackers. That's what you do. So that's how I see it. Also, Anthony Jennings, you have an out after next year to get out of his contract. So I think it might be after the 2026 season, but you have a 0 dead cap getting out of there as well, too. So Jihad Campbell, that's who you take. He's 6'3", 245.
Shame we don't have an out for fucking Jihad Campbell next year.
That's crazy. That's crazy that you got. I've just never spoke to people who know so much about football who don't want good linebackers.
I do want good linebackers. I do.
Clearly you don't. So what happens if someone gets hurt?
I don't want
3
to field
linebackers
a
on your
team of
roster?
11 linebackers on my fucking defense.
I got 3. I got 3.
You signed 4.
That's great. Actually, let me ask you, were you guys thrilled with Keon White? What if he starts to flounder this year? What if he doesn't live up to what he is?
I believe in Keon White, and I
That's
will
great. So do I.
I will
But what
die
happens
on
if you
that
don't?
hill, giving him
I love him too.
the season.
I love him too. Yeah. But what happens if he starts to suck? Be
Then
great
I'll
to have
die on that
Jihad.
hill.
Be great
It
to have
wouldn't be great
Jihad.
It is what it is.
Be
I don't
great
really
to
think there's
have-
ever a time that you really need a Jihad.
All right, let me move on to the next pick because you guys don't know. You guys don't know ball. Your next second round
that's
pick, the
it.
57th pick that you got from Carolina, you take Trey Harris, wide receiver, Ole Miss.
Holy
All right.
shit.
All right.
It's not a
Look.
linebacker.
Fun receiver, guys. Let me jerk off my dick. That's how you guys are right now. You guys don't want to build teams. You want teams you can talk about. I'm building a solid team. Trey Harris, though, ex receiver, 6'3", 210. Liam, we talked about it. I want a big guy.
Yep.
Pause. I want a big dude that can go up and catch. I know there's like issue with him and his like vertical speed. I don't give a shit. Yeah, get him over here. Last year, he had 60 catches, 1,030 yards, 7 touchdowns, and he also missed time. So that was with missing a few games. So I'm cool. Get him here. He's a boundary guy. You have a big receiver. This is why I think you get Debo and Stephon Diggs on short-term deals, because I think this is going to be your guy. This is going to be your Justin Jefferson, if you want to just throw a name onto it, like a franchise name. I think him, Demario Douglas, Booty, and probably Polk and Baker probably don't turn out to be anything. And if they do, then whatever.
Not.
You have like a nice little 3rd or 4th receiver there.
They're saying this guy might be at the top of the first round.
But then there's a lot of stuff where the more people look at him, people say the draft in itself might not be wide receiver heavy to start.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where it's like the more people look at it, the more wide receivers where they're like, I don't know. There's another guy I had a Luminor, or not Luminor, but it was one of that type of a name too. I thought maybe him. Jaden Higgins is another guy that could be here if you wanted to get him. You can get a Higgins, not the Higgins we thought it was going to be. But yeah,
Trey Harris was a former quarterback.
Get your receiver. I think he also had a couple runs as well. So yeah, get him in there. 4.5 40, unofficial, obviously, but yeah, get him in.
He's definitely a big body. I don't hate it.
Yeah, big guy. Al, are you happy that I took a receiver?
Yes. Much needed.
Very much needed. I know.
I do have a question though.
Oh shit. Al's gonna be pissed about this next pick.
Can he play linebacker?
Don't worry. We got more. Don't worry, dude. We got more. No, it's not more. But with your 3rd round pick, the 69th pick in the draft, Patriots take
Stanford.
Josiah Stewart from Michigan, edge rusher.
Beast.
You want an edge rusher?
Hey, all right.
You want an edge rusher. Do you guys know the quotes I saw about him? He plays with all-day aggression and thirst for contact, violent at all contact points.
I like that.
Yeah,
I don't need to say anything else.
Beast.
Yeah, he was a captain, 2nd team All Big Ten. In 2024, he had 33 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. The sacks and fumbles led his team. He's a little undersized, which I think is why he might fall to the 3rd round here, which is why a lot of people are saying that. But again, I think Vrabel, that won't deter Vrabel from drafting the undersizedness or whatever. But yeah, this is the edge rusher. Al, when you said that, I think they need to get whatever. Sure, they're not getting Abdul Carter. They're not getting Sweat or anything, but they are addressing the need with a guy who's from a good system, Michigan. Get him over here. Yeah, I think that's what you do.
Yeah, and Michigan's defense was a good defense this year in college football. They were down, but their defense was one of like the best in the country, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mostly because of their defensive line.
Yeah,
right.
So get him over here. Edge rusher, another guy where like, I'm like envisioning him and Keon White just terrorizing people with, all the other linebackers, obviously. So the next
you got your choice of which one it could be.
Next one, 3rd round. Patriots have 2 3rd round picks here because they did get another one. The additional one that they had.
What, from one of your 6 trades?
No. This was actually what they had. They had these.
Oh,
picks.
okay.
Yeah, they have 69 and 77. 3rd round pick, your 77th pick overall, Alfred Collins, defensive tackle, Texas, 6'5", 312, great run defender. Last year, he had his highest PFF score for run defense. I know PFF is what it is, but you need run defense. Godchow is going to be gone soon. This is going to be the guy that takes over for him. So That's what I'm thinking here. Like I said, run defense was horrible for us last year.
Mhm.
This guy's from Texas, good team, solid team. Obviously, as we know, Longhorns, Matthew McConaughey. Getting him over here. First team All SEC. He led his team with 7 pass breakups while he was there. He's a big guy, 6'5". That's another thing. Getting his hands up, that's big. So I think that would help. But yeah, I think you get him in here. We don't know the status of Barmore too, but
Yeah.
either way, Godchild is going to be gone soon anyway. So yeah, get him in here. Big body on the defensive line. You start with the trenches. Another reason I think Vrabel is going to do this, he said you build inside out. So that's why I think he's going to be here. So Alfred Collins, Al, I shudder to ask, but how do you feel about Alfred Collins?
Fills a need. You need to stop the run. You need guys that know how to stop the run. Good pick.
You know who stops the run? Jihad Campbell, linebacker, Alabama.
Technically, he does.
No. But yeah, I figured you guys would like this one. Defensive, like I just feel like you can never have too many big bodies in the middle, especially with how much they rotate out nowadays. Liam, Alfred Collins, Texas, big guy,
I like
6'5".
him.
Like I said, he's huge.
Yeah, I like him. I noticed him during the season. Watched a lot of Texas games. I like him. I maybe you could get better value with different players at this point, but he's certainly not bad.
All right, Al, I know I've kind of picked on you a little bit here, Liam. I am so sorry for what I'm about to do. I'm just saying, I'm very sorry. So, in the third round, teams are picking, teams are doing their things. The Seahawks come up. The Seahawks go, damn, it's a third round. We do need a quarterback. Who has a quarterback they might want to trade?
You shitting me?
They call the Patriots. They call the Patriots. The Patriots go, hey, buddy, did you see the last game of the year? Did you see Joe Milton chucking bombs?
Everyone
Fastest
saw Joe
football
Milton.
ever thrown in the NFL in the last like 10 years or whatever.
Yep.
Here's what we'll do, friend. Come in close. This is what we'll do, Mr. Seattle Seahawk. They're talking to the Seahawk, the actual Seattle Seahawk. That
The actual
owns
bird.
team. The actual bird. They go, caw. And then Vrabel goes,
I
caw.
don't think Seahawks go caca, but that's
He
fine.
goes, hey, do you know? Do you live in Florida? No, I do. I know what Seahawks do.
I don't think there are Seahawks in Florida.
The Patriots trade Joe Milton in the 217th pick, which is the first pick in the 7th round, to Seattle for their 82nd pick in the 212th pick, which is almost one of the last picks in the 6th round. So you're almost pick swapping there with the 7th and the 6th, and then you're giving them a quarterback for a 3rd round pick.
You get way more for Joe Milton.
I don't think so. But either way, they cacawed, and then this is what they did. Now, gentlemen, with the 82nd pick in the 3rd round, I want a discussion on this pick. The Patriots take Kansas running back Devin Neal. 5'11", 215, all-time leader in rushing touchdowns and yards in Kansas history. 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, very well in zone concepts. He's not a great pass blocker, so maybe he'll get a little bit better at that, but he is a receiving threat if need be. This is going to be Ramondre Stevenson's replacement. That's how I figured it. I think Stevenson's gone after this year. There's a lot of talk. Let's get rid of him. He had 7 fumbles last year. Stevenson did. That's as many as he's had in his whole career combined. So fumble issue, whatever. But I do think Vrabel saw that. It's on his radar. I think they take his replacement here with the pick that they got from Seattle. How do you guys feel about that? Devin Neal, Kansas, running back. Him and May, terrorizing defenses for years to come.
I like
So, you do like it?
I do like it.
Okay.
Hell
So
yeah.
I chose this guy as well. So there's
Yep.
not going to be a whole lot of discussion
Yep.
here. I love this dude.
Yep. Basically, Joe Milton for Devin Neal. So you're saying you like Devin Neal more than Joe Milton?
No, by no means. In fact, I wouldn't do that trade. It still seems like a very lopsided trade. But I have a problem. He's not Ramondre's replacement. He is not a every down running back. And I've fallen trapped to this before. I remember saying Christian McCaffrey's a 3rd down back, and you shouldn't
That's
take
fine.
him as high as he did. And safe to say I was slightly off with that one. But for the most
A little
part,
bit.
just slightly.
a tad.
I miscalculated. He's more of a 2 down back, not a 3rd down back. But I just in this circumstance, like he's a phenomenal fucking athlete, but he's tiny. He has perfect hands. All the things that point to he will be a passing down guy. I like you said, players don't really make crazy body transformations when they get to the league. Sometimes they do. Andre Williams was fucking shredded on the Giants, and he was not that big at Boston College. But
I wonder what
rarely,
happened when he got to the pros.
yeah, it didn't go great. But he was on the Giants, so you can't blame him.
Mhm.
In this circumstance, I don't think he's the replacement for Ramondre, but I'm nitpicking because I chose this guy as well, and I think he's a fucking monster. He's not going to give you anything in pass protection, limited route
No, not
tree, but
yet.
that doesn't
No,
fucking
no, no.
matter.
Which is
Yeah.
why I think third downs, he may not see the field as much.
Yeah, and he probably won't in his first year because we have
Mhm.
Gibson, but once Gibson's gone, we get him. But he just needs to bulk up kind of
Yep.
unilaterally. Is there hope that he can become that guy? Yeah, probably,
Yep.
maybe, but like I wouldn't bet on it by any means.
That's
He's just
exactly what
a
I thought.
super dynamic change pace guy.
That's exactly, you were saying exactly what I thought. He's going to bulk up, give him the year to bulk up a little bit, get a little bit better at pass pro. And then
Yeah.
maybe he evolves into that third down, 3 down back. If not, though, you spent your a third round, an extra third rounder that you got on him. Why not? And then if Stevenson for some reason keeps fumbling, fuck it, throw the rookie in. Whatever.
You know who
We'll
I
we'll
find is
we'll
an
tell you.
equally interesting prospect, and it'll probably go around this time as well. Cam Scatabo.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw that too. I hate him.
You hate him.
I don't know why. He just seems like him and his stupid dad. They just seem like hardos. I don't know why. The
Well, they're
one time
definitely
I saw them on
hardos.
TV. Yeah. I mean,
Al,
I wouldn't.
you don't like?
I, I'm indifferent. I mean, I don't think running back is just like a high need.
No, but it's a
But
need.
yeah, I mean the second running back, yeah, you could get as need.
It would be
I'd
a
be fine.
third running back, to be fair.
Yeah, or a third. Yeah, I mean, listen, I know you just talked about Scabo, but Devin Neal is I think is a fine pick. There's nothing wrong with that pick in the third round. Just stick with that.
So, what do you guys think of the trade, by the way? Joe Milton to the Seahawks. I figured that was kind of realistic. A lot of
Horribly
mock drafts had
lopsided.
that. I think Joe Milton, in NFL circles, as they say, he's seen as like a guy who could be a starter. So, I mean, they're spending a third round pick on him. Why not, right? Move up.
Yeah,
He looked good in the Seahawks uniform.
So he would. Yeah, he
he
would. I
would.
kind of thought that too.
I just think you can get way more value. You could get a Seahawks player and a pick.
Maybe, and just like with
None
the
of your
Saints,
trades
maybe
included trading for players.
no,
That
no, no.
Panthers
I did
trade,
not.
you could get a player, player
The
from the
Saints trade.
Panthers.
So I thought that maybe the Saints would trade Olave, but like that was adding a little. Like I didn't want to
Yeah,
fantasy book
I was
too
thinking of
many
the Panthers one
things.
though. Like you could have got
Could have got
any of
someone.
their scrub
Could have
receivers
got.
that are okay.
You could have got a linebacker. Could have got Brian
You,
Burns.
you could have, I
Throw him into
guess.
the mix.
Yeah,
Let's have 8 linebackers on the
we
team.
might as well. What
All
linebackers
right.
can we play at safety?
The last draft pick I'll bring up here. Fourth round pick, 113th pick. And you got the reason why also I wanted to do that trade with Carolina for the 57th and the 113th, because you were replenishing your fourth round pick that you traded for Debo. So you are now getting a fourth round
Okay.
pick back. So why not? This is where you went with Texas safety Andrew Makuba. Now, listen, just before you start to freak out, Al, I know you're probably, I'm not even looking at the screen, but Al, I know you don't like it probably. He's a free safety who, in a lot of people's eyes, he's going to fill Devin McCourty's role. He can track the ball very well. He reads the quarterback's eyes. He drives on the ball well, covers a lot of ground while the ball is in the air. Also likes to throw his body up in for run support. Sounds just like Devin McCourty. Kyle Duggar, by the way, you have an out for him this year if they wanted to trade him for anything. And after this, he has 2 years left on his deal. So Duggar's not going to be here for the long term. He's going to be here for 2 more years max. So you take this fourth round pick. Maybe he develops and maybe he doesn't. It's a fourth round pick. We don't know. Get him in there. Yeah, I'd love to see him kind of turn out to be the Devin McCourty guy. I don't think he'll get too much playing time this year. Maybe next year will be the time where he gets a lot of playing time. Then you trade Duggar then. But yeah, that's my last draft pick I have here. You're getting a safety with your 4th-round pick. He's 6 feet tall too, so he's a big guy. What do you guys think of that one?
You're building up your safeties, which I mean that's been a Patriots thing forever, making
Since
your
McCourty's
safeties
been
one of
gone.
your
Yep.
yeah.
At
So I
least.
mean,
Mhm.
if you don't take care of it in free agency, that's pretty good pick in the third round.
Yeah. Liam safety,
I
4th-round pick
I
from
like him. He's got
Texas.
a ton of problems because he's not strong. He's not
Mhm.
thick with two C's. I think he's like
Yeah.
190
He's
pounds or
got to
something
build
like
up.
that.
Yeah, he's got to thicken up.
But the ball skills are fucking awesome. Like this
Mhm.
dude loves to jump routes. Sometimes works against him, I would
Mhm.
imagine. But overall, I like the aggressiveness. And it seems like he tries. He fucking tries really hard. Tackling
Yep.
problems again because he's smaller, but he gets in there and tries, and that's all you can really
He's
Yep.
a
ask
really
of a
good
guy.
trier.
Yeah,
That's all
he's a
you want
really
with a
good
4th-round
trier.
pick. That's
Yeah,
all
I
you
bet you
want
say that a
because
lot to your
eventually
students.
Eve-
You're a really
So my
good
wife says to
trier.
me afterwards, she's like, you know what, you tried really hard.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
there was a lot of hit
Two thumbs
movement,
up,
not a lot
buddy.
of production, but guess
Mm,
what? The thought was there. We'll review the
yeah,
tape and we'll go from there.
100%. Your sweat
Um,
tells me you were trying hard.
but so- uh,
Yeah.
um, but
As
yeah,
into a
so I figured just get
sauna.
him in there. He does try in that. All jokes aside, if you can kind of beefing up your frame and kind of get your tackling, like kind of your fundamentals a little bit better, that trying will eventually lead to, production. So I figured why not. But that was my last pick. And that's my Patriots offseason plan. So obviously you're beefing up the linebacking room a lot, with Bentley being
That's
gone.
for fucking sure. Did you beef up anything else, or was it just the linebackers?
Yeah, like honestly, so your offensive line is set. You may not like Owenu at right tackle, but everything else is set. David Andrews' backup is here, and Jake
I think
Andrews.
Onwenu sucks no matter where he is, so I think that's
Yeah, so
fine.
that's there. You have 2 tight ends on the roster. For a little bit, I had the Patriots drafting in the 4th round, Drake May's tight end that he had in North Carolina. I thought maybe that
Okay.
could be one, but I took him off just because I figured we'll sign Austin Hooper, whatever. Dietrich Wise, a little bit of pass rush. Jonathan Jones, a little bit of, corner help, safety help if people get hurt, whatever, but probably more slot corner. Debo is your receiver along with Stephon Diggs. You also draft Trey Harris. Um, Free agency, like I said, you got the 2 guards. That's going to solidify your line. We don't need to talk about the linebackers. Got a lot of linebackers. Zach Bond's going to be your starter. Spillane, Devin Bush, a year flyer, whatever. Demarcus Walker, though, defensive end, another pass rusher. Al, you didn't like that I didn't have pass rushers. I got 2 of them right there for you, but okay. Corner, you got a Debo. So if you want someone just to put opposite of Gonzalez, you got that. Juan Thornhill. Safety, kind of a depth safety, backup safety as well that you can have there. You got a new kicker, which is great. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna draft another linebacker. I do have a lot of linebackers.
I did
Um,
want to bring up maybe a possible, at least thoughts on another option at wide receiver. I picked Savion Williams, who's just a
saw
big
that.
bodied, like all potential guy, which I like. But
That
it
was what, like the
seems
6th round,
like,
wasn't it?
yeah, no, it was, I think, the third. I think I took him
Okay, yeah.
at a relatively reasonable. I think he's getting a lot of hype. But a guy that's getting more hype, and I'm sure Al will know who this is, very talk radio guy, but I actually do kind of like his stuff. Isaiah Bond.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you know who that
Yep.
is?
Heard the name.
Yeah, the Texas wide receiver. He's
Yep.
just lightning, absolute lightning, and
Oh
like
yeah. Yep.
all the classic problems that comes with it's basically Tiny Wrist Thornton 2.0, but
God.
he actually has moves like release moves and can cut on a dime, and still has that same breakaway speed.
Yeah, I mean, there's him. There's also a Xavier Restrepo from Miami. People are talking about in the 3rd round. I thought about maybe him, but I couldn't take out my linebackers, so I had to kind of go elsewhere.
I think
But
Xavier Estrepo is going to be the steal of the
yeah,
draft.
he's
I think
there.
that's
Like
a
I mentioned,
layup.
Jaden Higgins from Iowa State too. He's another guy that a lot of people have kind of
You ever
penciled
seen
in.
Xavier Estrepo's face?
No, what's it look like? Tell me what it is.
Fucking, it is fucked up looking, but he's the man.
What is it? Oh, whoa.
Yeah, right. It's
I am
fucking
for you
heinous.
if you're listening. Just really quick, just like I kind of want to look at what happened because it's like now
Mm.
I feel like we shouldn't be.
Yeah,
talking about it.
I'm sure it's something terrible. It looks like he got
Maybe
attacked by a puma at like a very young age, but the guy can ball and
oh,
he's got
buddy.
hands of God.
It looks like he has a cleft lip that
That's
kept
on the side of
kept
his face.
clefting, and then like
Yeah.
what?
Al,
I
have you
don't want
seen his
to.
face?
I haven't. No,
Look it up. It is a sight for sore eyes.
I don't need to throw up right now.
It's a
It's
vascular anomaly. It
that's for
just,
fucking sure. It's an anomaly, all right. But
yeah,
yeah,
that's
he's a
all it
fucking
is.
man. Yeah. I don't care if he looks like Barney the purple dinosaur under that football mask. He's out there balling.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know if you want to bring that into the room.
You do want to bring that into the room. It'll make everyone else feel better about themselves. You know, rising tides. What is it?
Lift all
High
boats.
tide, lift all boats.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so overall, before we get out, what would you guys give my plan? Try to be serious, because if you think about the linebacker thing, it makes sense. Because I don't even count Devin Bush. He's like a flyer,
You
one
should
year,
count
5 million
Devin Bush.
bucks.
Uh,
It's like a
should
one
count
year,
the
five
Bush
million
man.
bucks.
But you should count Devin Bush. I
I'll
forgot
count
about
him.
him.
But like
What's
I
that?
said,
Five
you have
linebackers he took?
Yeah.
you have two linebackers on the roster and one's gone after next year. So you really have one,
So you're
which is
going
really
into the
none.
season with seven
I'm
linebackers.
going into the season with five. That's fine.
Bush, Spillane, the two we have already, so that's four. Who else did you take? Oh,
Bond.
Jihad,
Oh,
Bond.
Bond and okay, six. I'm going in with six. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think there's one more. I'm just missing one.
No, that's it. There's nothing wrong with that. Devin White might not even make the team.
That's true.
So let's just say five.
I hope he does it just for the sake of a
Let's just
crowded
say
room.
five. I hope
All
they
right.
do what I do, and
Liam,
you
give the
guys are
grade. 'Cause
crying.
I want to hear
Yeah.
yours first.
Okay, so I like your approach. You know, you're a great trier. You tried real hard out there. Clearly, you did your research. I just think some of your research was misplaced, but I like your attempt. I gave Al a C, I believe. So
Yeah,
I
C
will give
plus, I
you
think, or something. A
no,
C,
I gave
yeah,
him a
something like
C, a
that.
flat out C, and I will give you uh a lot of splash plays I like. I don't think it's realistic. I'd like your offseason to happen just because we get like cool players. But I just, it's probably not realistic that we're getting Diggs and Samuel. I'm going to give you a C minus.
You don't think so? The Diggs and Samuel, you don't think that's is that the only not realistic part? Like all like the joking linebacker
That,
stuff aside,
yeah,
we've
that, and
seen that happen where teams sign
we
players and
have,
they just
yes,
don't make
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So the Diggs and the Debo is the one thing that really that got
No,
you there.
no, that's not even really the one thing. There's a lot of trades too, which I think when you take trades into account, you're really you're hanging yourself out on a limb there. And if you're right, you're going to look like a genius, but you do not like have the odds in your favor.
I
Trades
think I
are
do.
remarkably unlikely, and
They all make sense.
I don't
All the
think they're going to
trades make
trade their first
sense.
and their second. Yeah, they make sense in Madden, but like in real life, we don't have
They
Bill
wouldn't make
trading
sense
out
in
of the
Madden.
first round Belichick. Like I don't think we're trading out of the first round. I definitely don't think if we trade the first pick, we're trading the second. So
We already have a
just
second.
for realism purposes,
All right. I won't argue. I won't.
C
I don't. I
minus,
don't.
C
Why
minus,
argue with?
and I'm
Why
giving it
argue
to
with
you out of
clowns when the
love.
circus is well
And
at
plus,
work?
you
No, no,
trade
makes
Joe
no sense.
Milton, which is vastly unrealistic
That's
because
it.
he's the quarterback of the
That's the thing.
future.
That's
Yeah.
that's what got you, Al. What do you think?
You guys ever seen Boy Meets World, the show?
Love Boy
Yeah.
Meets World. Yeah,
So there was
Topanga's in
a
beef right now.
there was
Topanga's
an
got beef.
there was an episode early on when Corey and
Man,
Sean are in, I think it's like middle school, and Mr. Feeney's coming around giving back the history tests.
I'm gonna mute
And
him. I'm
he
gonna mute him.
says, Mr. Matthews, not your best work. Mr. Sullivan, really good work. C plus. That's what I'm gonna give you. You get a C plus for this. You tried
You
hard.
guys are morons.
You're not quite at the B level yet, but you're working your way up, so to
You
speak.
can tell he's
So
given a
so I want to
speech
know why.
before.
So I want to know why. So just yeah, I know, right? He's given that teacher speech.
Yeah.
So explain your work, Al. Show your work, which I'm sure you're used to saying to your kids. Your students, not your kids. Show
I know
your
what
work.
you mean.
Why? Why is it a C
Say it all.
plus?
First of all, I think between the free agents in the draft, I know I'm going to just pound this into the ground. I think you took too many linebackers. I think you could have taken other I think you could have taken
I'm
other
gonna
positions.
say it. I'm gonna say it.
I think you could have taken another defensive tackle in free agency because I
That'd
think
be too
there's going
many
to be a lot of
tackles.
them that are.
That's 5
It,
defensive tackles.
listen, you said
Better
in the
than 6
trenches, right? In
linebackers.
the
That's
trenches means
nuts.
the offensive
That's
and defensive tackles.
crazy.
Hey, you're asking me. The
5.
receivers, I like Samuel, I like Diggs, I do like them both, but I would have liked to have seen maybe a younger receiver if you could have gotten it somehow with a trade. Even if you threw Metcalf in there, I think that Metcalf trade, while a little bit out there, is still reachable. So
That's my goal. That's what I want. Yeah.
I think that could have helped you, but overall, I mean,
I
pretty
would have
solid
given
plan.
you a worse grade if you picked DK. Because
Yeah,
I just definitely don't think that's realistic.
yeah. Listen, overall, your average grade is a C, so take it.
You want to
Yeah.
know what's not realistic? Nelson fucking Aguilar.
I know that
That's
one's
actually
not realistic.
no, it is realistic.
You deserve an F.
That is
I was thinking
perfectly
it.
realistic.
I was thinking it when I
That
listened.
is perfectly a realistic take.
That's crazy. So I do think though, I do think that all 3 of us, we will have multiple hits on our thing. I think the Patriots
Ooh,
do
it's a hot
take at
take.
least whether it's free agents, re-signings, extensions, whatever it happens to be, draft. I do think that we all hit a little bit on there. We'll see.
I do think by sheer numbers, because we've picked every option possible. Al has them going with the superstar that everyone wants.
Getting a linebacker.
You have them going with the lineman. I have them swerving and going with the defensive tackle. Somebody's got to be right.
Yeah, I think we'll be. I do think though. Just real quick before we get out, do you guys think they trade out of their 4th pick?
No,
Just back.
they're going
No,
to stick and pick.
You
no.
think so?
That's why I gave you a back rate. I don't think so.
I don't
I
think
really
so.
don't.
I don't think they should, because I think they should take Will Campbell, and I think they'll believe they can take him if they move back a little bit.
Yeah, and like I understand where the logic comes from. I just don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, we'll see. I do think that they trade some pick at some point, some picks here and there. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens though. Anything else you guys want to get off your chest? All the blasphemy you just spewed towards my off-season plan.
No, I'm good.
I really think we could have used another linebacker.
But I got more. Do you want me to bring him up?
I
This
would
dude
love-
from
I would love-
UCLA. This is white dude from UCLA who I almost had on.
I
I was like,
actually
I can't
looked
do
at him
6.
too.
I cannot do
almost looked at him
7
too.
linebackers.
Yeah, it would be
That's
7.
too many. That's too many.
Yeah,
I will
'cause
admit
6
though,
isn't
I will
too
admit
many.
that the linebackers did get away from me, but I said, you know what? I'm already here.
It's true. I
I'm
think it's
already here.
hilarious.
So I got to try to describe it some way how I can. So, all right, guys, this was episode 169 Tuck Rule Takes. We'll see you next week. Hopefully the Patriots do something. I guess re-signing players is going to be all the rage coming up. So maybe that'll happen before we record. We'll talk about some Patriots moves. If not, we will still be here next week. We'll talk about something. We'll have something to entertain you with. Other than that, go Patriots, get a linebacker, or 2 or 7. Yeah. Other than that, we're out. Sweet feet.
Sweet feet.
Sweet feet.